Hey, what's going on, guys? So today, I'm going over a couple of multi-tools. This is going to be a 2-for-1 just because these are so similar. I've had these for years. There is a black one and a silver one. The black one I don't believe I've ever actually used even. So let me take them out. We'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, here's the black one. They come in nice little nylon sheets here in case you want to carry it. All right, these are Schrade models. These are both called Tough Tools. All right, so Schrade Tough Tools. Now, there is a difference between them. The one on the left, the silver one here, is a 13-in-1. What they mean is there's 13 different functions. There's not actually 13 tools. You know, there's just 13 different things, I suppose, specifically you could do with it, compared to the black one, which is the 20-in-1. Now, the price difference is actually not much at all, as you would imagine. So these you can get as cheap as $18. Again, this is an older model. I want to say it's still in production. Don't quote me on it. But I've seen them as recently as like last year. But I got these things like 4 years ago or something. So this one's about 18, 20 bucks-ish. This one's about $26 to $30-ish. Right? So about 20, 25, 30, something like that. They're very, very similar. The specs on the silver one anyway is 8.3 ounces. These are both stainless steel, full stainless steel. And regardless of which one you get, they both have 2 knives. Unfortunately, the knife blades are 2CR stainless. Now, I don't know if you guys know what 2CR is, but like that's a 200 series stainless steel. Like 300 series stainless steel are used for knife liners. You know what I mean? Not even blades. And obviously 400 series, we know 440C, 440A, things like that. So, like, we're talking, like, a really soft steel. The one advantage to it, though, and I think why they use it for these blades, is it's very corrosion resistant. Even though it's a softer metal, like, it really does not hold an edge. And I was disappointed with some of the tool, like, some of the tools are supposed to be sharpened that weren't really even sharpened. The blades are sharp, but they're not, like, they're going to really lose an edge quick. I knew that because this one really lost an edge quick. This one, again, barely ever used. All right, but they both work the same way, both like the same type design. They have these patents all over the thing for the design features, I suppose. It does sit pretty flat. It's not, I mean, the handles down here are about as thick as a regular multi-tool, so I'm not going to say it has an advantage of being flat. It's not flat enough to really care or notice a difference. I mean, in a sheath or in your pocket, it's going to be the same as any old multi-tool. All right. These have torque screws for the pivots. They're stiff for a reason. This one, when I started using it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of stiff. I want it to open easier, right? But that was a mistake because when I loosened it, like you can see this one, after some use, it does this because the handles are a little bit loose. Once I had to retighten them, you want it kind of stiff like that so that they kind of stick to the plier head. Does that make sense? So that when you're using it, it's not just closing, you know what I mean? But anyway, in the open position, it is pretty comfortable. It's not the most comfortable multi-tool. It's not like, even some of the Leathermans are more comfortable. I would say it's hard because there's so many models with different brands, so I can't say like, oh, it's better than a Leatherman because of this, or an SOG because of this, or not as good as a Victorinox for this. There's many models within all those brands, but generally speaking, if I have to be general about it, I would say the Victorinox is the most comfortable of all the multi-tools, like full-size plier multi-tools I've used, because those things are just polished over like, oh my god, it feels like glass. It's amazing. Leathermans, for the most part, come in second for me. This is somewhere after that. Like, it's pretty comfortable. Some of the SOG models, they have like some sharp edges. I mean, it really depends on the design. Specifically, the ones with the power sliding, head, those don't tend to be that comfortable to hold. Like I'm talking about when you're actually using the pliers. And then like Gerber has a couple models that were really uncomfortable to me. And then there's a million no-name multi-tools that just suck. By the way, the 2CR blades, those are usually in those no-name Chinese multi-tools, the ones you find for $5. So if you ever use the blades on those, expect the same for this. The only difference between the two, again, a 13-in-1 and a 20-in-1, it's really like 2 tools or 3 tools in here. The black one has the scissors, and that's one of my favorite, features, there it is, on these plier multi-tools, because scissors get used a heck of a lot, all right? So this is something that I actually do appreciate on a multi-tool. Now you can see where these sit. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. The scissor handle is actually pretty thin, but for what they are, they're fine. And these actually work. I don't know why these are actually sharp and the blades aren't sharp. It is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Scissors, this also has like, I think, an awl in it or something. It has this little micro screwdriver as well. So just a couple tools. If I kind of open these up, you can see what's going on here with the tools. All right, this side we have a combination edge knife. And then the other side, and obviously you can see how these work. Most times on multi-tools, the tools are coming out this way, or on the inside this way. These are actually coming out on the side. You know, hopefully you could visualize that. You see it just sitting on the table there. So it's unlike most multi-tools as far as how the inner tools work. All right. This is what I just pulled out. I'll talk about in a second. But here, see, we have a plain edge blade on this, little clip point. All right. And you can see these are a little more difficult to actually get out. There's not nail nicks on all of them. You have to kind of pull certain tools up to access the other ones, if that makes sense. And obviously we have an exposed blade, so if you slip, you know, luckily maybe that's why it's not that sharp. They don't want you to get hurt if you slip. All right. So you can see the tools on this black model, and you'll see the other ones in just a moment for comparison. This right here, this is, let me close these now. That tool right there, it's like, it's a little like hook blade, almost like a little hawkbill blade. This guy here is not, it's ground down, but it's not sharpened. Okay, that's not sharp. That's supposed to be sharp. And it's not, like at all. Okay, so I don't know the deal with that. They do have two tools that lock on each handle. I'll show you that with this one as an example. So overall, because of the design, maybe just a little bit more awkward than what we're used to as far as pulling the tools out. But if you notice, these two tools with the humps on them, this one here and this one here, these actually function as locks. So when you depress these or push these down, the locking tool on either side can be released. And I'll show you that in just a second here. But you can see, like the screwdriver has a nail neck and everything else kind of pulls up with it a little bit. All right, the file on here, which I did not use the file on this at all. And I also didn't use the saw, but I tried the can opener, I tried the knives. Like I said, this guy got dull on me already. It's not even sharp anymore. Same thing, this little hook tool. It's ground, but it's not sharp at all. Like, you could still use this to like rip open a package, you know what I'm saying? But like, I would want it actually sharpened. There's no reason to not, like, if you're going to grind it like it's a blade edge, just keep going. Just sharpen it, you know what I'm saying? So that's like a downside to me. But let's see, what locks in here? I think it's a screwdriver. All right, so I put all these tools back in here. Yeah, this screwdriver, if you wanted to use just this Phillips head screwdriver, close the tool back up. All right, you can use it. This is stiff. This is not going to fold. It's now locked. In order to unlock it, you have to push down on the hump. Pushing down on the hump pivots this kind of lock bar on the back. All right, if that makes sense. And then it can swing in. On this guy, I want to say it's this saw. All right, so when the saw is only open, the saw locks in place, all right, if you want to use that. And, you know, it feels like an aggressive wood saw. It'd probably work fine, but again, to close it, you got to depress that. All right, so, yeah, it's not spring-loaded, as you can see. All right, to be honest, I mean, I don't mind I like spring-loaded, but more times than not, those are cheaper multi-tools. There's only a few nice quality ones that actually have, you know, a spring in it. But I don't mind. I'm used to using my fingers like this. You know what I'm saying? This is how a lot of dudes just, you know, you open the jaws and you close them. It's not a big deal. Once you have them closed, you can lift your fingers over and really grip it if you need to. All right? But it works fine. You know, as I said, not coming actually sharp, having such a cheap blade steel. Yeah, those are downsides. These are not like multi-tools I would probably say like I recommend. I don't recommend them. I like them for variety. I like them because they're a little different. They work okay. You'd have to sharpen the knife blades often if you're actually going to use the knife. But what I would suggest, if you get one of these things, because the price is right, you know what I mean? They're cheap. These are super cheap multi-tools for what they are. So it is priced fairly, I suppose, for what you get. But I would sharpen those blades and never touch them, just use them as a backup. So let's say you lose your knife or something, or your regular knife's getting dull, you at least have something to go to. You'll always have a sharp knife on you. But realistically, if you're going to carry this full-size multi-tool, there's so many other ones that are better for like another 10, 20 bucks, you know, 30 bucks. But if you're really on a budget and you're really looking for a multi-tool that's under 30 bucks or even under $20 for this silver one, yeah, I mean, here's another option. That's all it is. Who am I to say that it's not a good one? I'm sure plenty of people will be able to use this and be totally fine with it. Never had a break or anything. But again, I just recommend keeping these factory tight. And if you do loosen them like I did, like I'm gonna have to go back and probably put a little Loctite on this just to make sure they don't back out, because I don't want it to be loosey-goosey flopping around. You know what I mean? I want it to be stiff so once these are open, I can use the pliers easy. So that's pretty much it. There you go, the Schrade Tough Tools. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. Also, if you have a recommendation for a super cheap but decent multi-tool, let me know. All right? Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.